Hey, public opinion aficionados, it's Mark Mitchell, head pollster of Rasmussen Reports, and really happy to join Gene Valentino at the Grassroots Truthcast today. I support his podcast. Go check it out and subscribe while you're there.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever.
For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great.
With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
And welcome back to Ike Wingate America. New scrutiny turning toward Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after a government watchdog filed a complaint alleging possible misuse of campaign funds. She allegedly got treatment from a shrink who specializes in a controversial ketamine therapy. The National Legal and Policy Center now demanding a probe into her congressional campaign committee and its treasurer. AOC allegedly paid Boston-based Dr. Brian Boyle nearly $19,000, and it was filed as leadership training and consulting. Any congressional members who violate the House ethics rules could face fines and up to 5 years in prison. So far, no word from AOC on the suspicious spending. So right now, let's welcome in our left-right panel to discuss. Executive editor and author of Occupy Democrats, Grant Stern, along with GOP political strategist and host of Grassroots Truthcast podcast, Gene Valentino. Getting right into it today. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Grant, if a member of Congress can classify personal medical treatment as leadership training and then charge it to a campaign account, what does that say about the ethics rules right now in Washington?
Look, I mean, we all know that Washington's ethics rules are far from perfect. But what does it say about a member of Congress when they helped start a war and then ran off to Disney World and wandered around with a bubble wand when they're a 70-year-old single man all weekend? I mean, people are more worried about gas prices right now than what AOC is, what that representative is spending her campaign cash on, whether she needs some sort of psychologist treatment or not. I mean, people are paying a lot of money at the gas pump. It's $500 million a day out of Americans' pockets because of this war in Iran. And now they're starting to talk about ground troops, all without congressional approval. And nobody even knows what the point of going to Iran is right now. But it's crippling our economy. And people are worried about rising prices a lot more than they are a little bit of campaign spending by Rep. AOC.
Well, I think a lot of people do understand why we're in Iran, that the objectives have been pretty clear. I was not holding my breath for you to answer the question, Grant, about the potential ketamine use for AOC. Gene, what do you make of this situation?
Well, we're on a discussion about chemical abuse with congressmen and women who can't seem to get it right. You hear about it with the Democrat Party, just like voter fraud and everything else that's been going on lately. I know, like you do, Ike, that Donald Trump has a clear mission as to exactly why we're dealing with Iran. We were one click away from nuclear destruction coming out of Iran, and the last thing he needs to do is to be spending time talking about it with the likes of the other guests and other congressmen and women who would have abused the information further because they hate Donald Trump so much. No, Donald Trump is saving this nation whether they understand it or not.
Yeah, let's talk about these allegations along with and in light of Sheila Sherfalis McCormick, or whatever her name is. She faces guilty findings on 25 of 27 ethics counts tied to $5 million in FEMA overpayments to her family's company, allegedly buying some very expensive items as well. Gene, I'll kick this right back to you on the subject of the Democrats not having a great week when it comes to ethics. Are they just playing fast and loose with fraud cash on this deal, or what?
Well, I'd like to believe it was just this week, but there's a pattern over time that I hope people are finally realizing. This is another Democrat that has used the system for self-gain at the expense of the citizens they're supposed to be representing. This is a consistent plan. You need a constitutional amendment to fix it, but you don't go to the criminal to try to get reconciliation for fraud and abuse and criminal activity. But there's got to be something that needs to happen on the national level that puts into motion constitutional amendments to penalize these legislative people now that are doing a lot of wrong things. We didn't even discuss what's going on at the airports, but that's okay. It's one of many narratives that are out there that are hurting the American citizens. We need a constitutional amendment, not only to cut their pay when other people are suffering, but to penalize them for fraud and abuse and the reckless disregard for the people that got them into office.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of accountability or penalty, to your point, or incentive to get things done for either side. Grant, what do you make of McCormick's fraud charges here? What do you think?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's extraordinary that they put her basically on trial in front of the House Ethics Committee. And the fact is that she got the money and she used that money to get into Congress, and that's wrong. And she deserves punishment. She's going to be punished. We don't need a constitutional amendment to punish this representative. She's already facing a criminal trial as well. And she deserves the fate that George Santos received if she stays in Congress. But we do need a constitutional amendment. I agree with Gene. We need one to remove presidential immunity. The Supreme Court absolutely blew it there. It is not written in the Constitution that there's any form of immunity for the president. We wouldn't see this job killing, pocket robbing, basically giant tax of a war in Iran if it wasn't for this presidential immunity decision, because no president would be bold enough to go to war without getting permission from Congress first. So yeah, Rep. Sherfellis McCormick deserves to be punished, but I mean, there are bigger problems in this country, and I hope that she's gone soon. We'll see somebody else replacing her, but we really need to see our country out of this war as fast as possible. And you know, Donald Trump got us into this all by himself. That's just wrong.
Grant,
well, it is.
Grant, you know that the president has 60 days. Go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, I was just going to jump on that. I think Grant and I have more in common than we dare discuss right now. But the fact of the matter is, I think Trump has been misled, been abused again. The guy promised 60 days, 6 weeks to 8 weeks. He's halfway there, and we need to give him the chance to make some formidable changes in short order. I mean, Grant and I came from an era, I think, where the Vietnam War went through the era of 3 presidents, for crying out loud. This man has been transformative in 3 weeks. We need to make sure we give the guy the chance he needs to turn this around. I think there's the imposition of ground troops, sure, but we got to eviscerate. We have to totally annihilate a regime that has been out to get Americans for 47 years. And I think half measures will prove fruitless if we don't go all the way with this.
Yeah, well, and it's something that a lot of presidents have avoided for decades. And doing it in a midterm election, that is not politically expedient, and that's called doing the right thing, if you ask me. Grant Stern, Gene Valentino, thanks for being here with us this afternoon.
Thanks, Ike.
All right, today's Triggered Liberal, a supposed school teacher. Every TikTok post on her account begins with a profanity-filled rant.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever.
For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great.
With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year, is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.